Here we go now.
People have tried to influence the future with ideas that pierce through cynical minds, with performances that transform the understanding of reality, with creations that brought on a wave of new and exciting experiences, with a legacy that was big enough to become the epitome of excellence. What is the definition of a great legacy? It is one that has existed long enough to stay ahead of the game. One that understands the need to nurture high performance. One that establishes pillars of success with the voice and talent of its community. One that adds value to every insight or invention. One that exemplifies a truthful path of pursuing a passion. One that fosters more adventures and discoveries. You have helped us up the game of innovation. You have hailed us champions with your performance. You are our voice that will echo through generations. You have set us on the journey towards exploring new horizons. You have helped us build our powerful legacy. Welcome to Adobe ColdFusion Summit 2019. A big round of applause for Alicia Dvorak, Technical Marketing Manager, Adobe.
Welcome to Adobe ColdFusion Summit 2019. Woo! We have just under 500 people here today, and approximately half of you all are first-timers, so give it up for the people that are here for the first time. I'd like to say a couple of thank yous to start off. I'd like to first thank the content committee that helped us put together the schedule that you have today. So hope you enjoy the conference. We spent a lot of time and effort on that. Content committee members, if you're in the room for the content committee, please stand up so everybody can give you a round of applause. That's Brian Claus and Dan Wilson. In addition to that, I'd also like to thank the Specialist Committee. So those of you that may have been part of the Specialist Certificate, there was a whole committee behind that. A lot of folks involved with trying to put together a great training and development program for you, and I hope you enjoyed that. But let's give a round of applause to the Specialist Committee members that helped us with that training program. And then, of course, I'd also like to thank the speakers that spend endless hours revising their presentations for all of us here today. Thank you, speakers. We can't make this conference without you. And without further ado, who's ready to kick this one off? Okay, great. I'd like to introduce you to Ashish Garg, Director of Engineering here at Adobe. Welcome, Ashish.
Whew. Just under 500 people. Good morning, everyone. Great. I'm really excited to be here. And I just want to start off by congratulating each and everyone who got their certification yesterday. So CF certification, this is the first time it was done yesterday, and more than 100 people earned their certification yesterday. So all of those who have their certification, can all of them stand up, please? Adobe continues to invest on future of ColdFusion, and for all the right reasons. The revenue, which can be taken as a very simple measure for success of any commercial technology, the revenue for ColdFusion keeps on going up. In fact, we had the best ever quarter just late last year. Not just that, most of the large enterprises are still putting their confidence into ColdFusion. 70 of the Fortune 100 companies are using ColdFusion. 70% of the ColdFusion developers in those companies feel that ColdFusion is absolutely critical for the success of whatever they are trying to do there. IT managers, they also feel that ColdFusion is very, very critical for their operations when 70% of them say that ColdFusion is their first choice to build new applications whenever they are thinking about it. So I will come back on the stage later when I start talking about the vision of ColdFusion, so basically what we have in store for you. But let's hear it from some of the most awesome customer that ColdFusion has. They will talk about how ColdFusion has been a partner in their journey of success. So I'll start off by inviting Marco on the stage. Marco has traveled all the way from Italy to talk to us. Marco is CTO of Tezisquare, so please give a warm round of applause for Marco.
It is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change. Nature works because everything is interconnected. Like a huge single conscience made of many little parts. We humans have learnt to study nature. Copy it. Enhance it. In the most effective and reliable ecosystems, everything is connected. Everything is tracked. Everything is notified. Tezisquare has evolved into one platform that connects everything, end-to-end with a control tower approach. Everything is in your control with our new UX improved experience. Choose the module that you need to connect all your business partners, physical devices, and data into one platform. Reduce costs and let your multi-enterprise network run's value. Increase the collaboration from source to pay cycle. Monitor and have full control of your supply chain. Drive your data on control tower approach and enhance your transportation management. Satisfy your customers by designing your omni-channel customer experience and control your performance by analytics. One world, one partner, one platform to connect everything. Tezisquare. Build your collaborative ecosystem.
Hello everybody, good morning to you all. Thank you for Adobe to have me here. It's very exciting for me to see every time that video. It's really, really exciting. So there are a few messages that come from that video that are very, very important that to be shared. One is collaboration is the first point for Tezisquare, collaboration, end-to-end visibility. And the third one that is most important for all us is continuous change. Adopt continuous changing. So you see the butterfly, so start flying. So we need to continuous change. What about Tezisquare? Tezisquare is an Italian company. It has been founded about 25 years ago It is a private-owned company, and our mission is to connect people, technology, and process in a collaboration square. So this is the number of Tezisquare, 24 years of experience, 99.7% of customer retention is really important for us. Customer satisfaction is the first point for Tezisquare. In terms of revenue, this year will be a very, very challenging year for us. Probably we will touch the 39 million euros. We had a very, very enhanced growth in the last 3 years. Very, very important. We have a worldwide coverage of our solution, not just for the ColdFusion area, but also for other areas. So we cover from retails, ERP system, SAP solutions, and ADI integration. So we cover practically a lot of area of the world, not just from our brand partner or our brand customers, but also for all the collaboration system that we have integrated. We are talking of business-to-business activities. Last year, we have about 300 million of transactions that have been performed across our systems. And we're talking about warehouse movements, transportation movements, documents that have been moved, proof of delivery of the management, invoicing, ADI transaction. We have about 200 international customers, very, very important. And we have also a part of Italy, 4 branches in Netherlands, France, Spain, and Germany. The aim of Tezisquare is to be one partner. How many times you will hear this word, one partner? Because we don't want just to sell solution to the final customer, but we want to build with them turnkey projects, being their partner in their continuous improvement of their business processes. We want to be able to continuously adapt to their changes. So we have in-house after-sales team that perform all the support activity for the final customers and also for their partners, because we need to remember that the B2B integration means satisfy not just the brand owner, must satisfy all those that participate into the supply chain. Tezisquare have embraced a customer-centric approach in real time through different capabilities that start from the governance, risk, compliance, digital transformation, end-to-end control tower, and supply chain finance. And it's not just that, because through the Tezisquare platform, we are able to enable a collaborative ecosystem that digitize the extended supply chain process, generating value through an integrated platform of sources, procurement, supply chain execution, transportation management, retail, and e-commerce. Why ColdFusion? So we started in 95. 95 was built some solution based on different languages. In 2000, we decided to move to ColdFusion. And as said by Ashish before, it has been the first choice for Tezisquare, just for his capability for immediately satisfy the requirement of our customer initially, because we built initially bespoke application, vertical application for the customer, and then our path, our roadmap moved to defining what is currently the Tezisquare platform, the Tezisquare control tower. I don't want to go through because everybody knows exactly what this means. Maybe it's the same path that everyone has been taken when a decision has to be made if ColdFusion has to be adopted or not. The evolution path of our system, as I told before, they started from customer project vertical solution, moving to definition of a foundation of our framework. So our framework is being currently the base of all the platform. And from that we started building the net solutions. The next step has been a user experience consolidation, because the different solutions that have been built together have different user experience, because they've been built by different development teams. So the aim of the product team that have been established 3 years ago was to reconsider completely all the platform, starting from the UX, because it was the customer facing, because it was the most important matter that our customer was thinking about. The important thing was not just redesigning the graphics, but was also to segregate the different layers. So the segregation between the presentation and the business logic. And this gives us the opportunity for future development in order to integrate different systems having a unique UX experience. And arriving at today to the Tezisquare platform, where currently about 40 modules have been built together and then can be used as blocks that can be delivered to the customers in order to satisfy their needs for their process. One platform because we want to enable the visibility and the collaboration for all the process, for all the B2B participants. Tezisquare, in fact, deploy a platform and solution designed to orchestrate and manage the extended supply chain processes, not only across internal organizations, but also beyond company boundaries, so supporting each customers to build their own collaborative ecosystem. The platform is offering target core areas such as sourcing and procurement, supply chain execution, transportation management. One platform provides one unique solution across all the supply chain processes, an end-to-end visibility for all the process, for all the tasks that are performed by the companies. Last year, Tezisquare has been recognized by Gartner as a challenger in the first issues of the Magic Quadrant for the end-to-end multi-enterprise solution. So last year have been released for the first time in this quadrant, and we are very proud because we are the unique Italian company that have been part of that have been recognized by Gartner. Just a few numbers. We have about 250 brand owners, so they are our direct customers, that integrate currently about 40,000 suppliers, their customers, and all the carriers that manage all the transportation of the goods. Just a brief review of the different areas where the system is currently adopted. Unfortunately, we can't share any names because we can't give any reference of that. But we have very, very important luxury brands, very, very important goods and beverage companies that are represented across the usage of our solution. That's all for very pleasure to be here.
Knowledge is a treasure.
And then I give you the last video.
Practice is the key to it. Without a way to control and understand it, knowledge is simply a series of data. How can you manage and control your executional processes data coming from various sources to improve performances? 20 years of field-proven experience and continuous customers' dialogue have empowered us with the ability to design a ready-to-use platform to support your decisions. Tezi Control Tower enables you to embrace the power of end-to-end visibility. Define your own reports, objectives, and KPIs with a self-service approach. Customize your dashboard to track and reach your goals. Enjoy the freedom of an alert and notification advanced system that will keep you updated wherever you are. A huge collaborative ecosystem to manage end-to-end every aspect of your supply chain. Tezi Control Tower is open and ready for the future. Knowledge at your fingertips. Simply waiting for your choices. One world, one partner, one platform to connect everything. Tezisquare. Build your collaborative ecosystem.
Thanks, Marco. That was really great. So now I would like to invite Tony on the stage from Transact. Transact engagement is dedicated to providing organizations tools to improve employee engagement. They offer a platform of products and services for everything from employee relationship management and recognition platforms to organizational development and performance management. Tony, please.
All right, again, I'm Tony Ferraro, Software Development Manager for Transcend. Transcend is a startup company. We've been around for approximately 3 years, and I've been fortunate enough from the very beginning to be a part of Transcend. We compete in about a $40 billion industry, and when I came to Transcend, I figured what a great opportunity to bring ColdFusion in. So here's a quick video here, kind of explains what Transcend does and what we're about. It's one of those fun little videos, so I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we'll go from there.
Boosting your employees' morale improves the bottom line. Most employees feel disengaged and unappreciated, but not anymore. Introducing Transcend Engagement, providing solutions to improve employee performance with award programs, social engagement, performance management, and employee development. Are you engaging your employees online? You can now. Transcend specializes in online engagement solutions. Stayed late at the office? Completed the project before it was due. Get appreciated. And if you achieve a milestone, you can even get rewarded by visiting an online store and choosing an Apple Watch, a TV, a new mountain bike, or more. We even have an online communication portal where employees can interact and socialize. Having a birthday, service anniversary, a new hire, or have some important information to share. Create an online community for your company. Become an active social contributor by sharing photos of your family or workmates celebrating a milestone. Our online company store allows companies to sell branded apparel to their employees. Encourage your employees to wear the company logo with pride. We'll manage all the ordering online and do all the decorating and fulfillment. We also have a performance management system to help improve communication between the manager and the employee. Improve cross-training, accountability, and employee development with our flexible system. Stop waiting. Get online. Request a free demo today at www.transcendengagement.com.
All right, so now that you guys have a better idea of what we're kind of about, and I apologize for it being blurry here, but there's 4 main areas of focus that we focus on: communication, recognition, performance management, and employee development. And what we found is a lot of our competition is only good in one of these areas. And what we do is we bring all these together under one umbrella. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this next slide. And again, it's blurry a little bit because of the resolution and stuff, but I want to give you guys a brief demo of what we've done over the past 3 years with 2 developers. So this is our communication platform. We have a bunch of widgets here where companies can post company news, the new hires, birthdays of the month, service anniversaries. There's a widget here for employee timeline to be able to socialize and engage with employees. Quick links out to the 401k, ADP, whatever they decide they want to do for a company. And then if you have an available service award, say a 15-year service award, you get a welcome letter from the president, you click redeem, And then you go onto an online store, select a gift. This is a custom ColdFusion cart. And then we go ahead, check out, and then this order then gets sent through an API to the manufacturer, which the item then gets shipped within 2 to 5 days to the employee's home. And then if we go ahead then and go to the admin side of things, so if you have like HR admin rights, fun little thing here, widgets. So you can customize the dashboard and drag your widgets around. Each one of these widgets are customizable depending on what the company wants to do with them. And then if you want to grant an employee an award, one of the options is you can quickly grant an employee award, select the employee, click grant an award, and then an email gets generated right to the employee to notify them that they've been awarded a service anniversary award. User management, so this is where HR can go ahead and edit the password for users, change details about the employee and whatnot. So that's basically, oh, and then we have the dashboard of the performance management system. This is just the dashboard piece for the 360 performance reviews, skill inventory, goal management. So that's pretty much it for the quick demo there. So again, we developed all this with just 2 developers in a short period of time with ColdFusion. One of the server-side technology, HostTech, is who we use, and I can't say anything. I mean, they've been fabulous for us. I highly recommend HostTech for any of your ColdFusion hosting. 99.8% uptime. They've been fantastic for us. Application server, ColdFusion, of course, running a VPS on HostTech, and then backend, we're using MySQL. And then client side, pretty basic, jQuery and Bootstrap. A lot of you guys maybe have noticed right away that that was a Bootstrap framework. And then ColdFusion rocks. So this is where we really needed to take advantage of ColdFusion internally, because we'll get like 2,000 awards from a company, we'll have to print these booklets. So what we've done is we're able to import these employee awards, and we're able to automate it by creating PDFs on the fly and send them to the printer automatically. So that's one area that's really greatly improved for us. API consumption, we get 60,000 products in our catalog. So we get updated, our products get updated nightly with inventory and discontinued items. And then when we get an order, we send it back through the API to the manufacturer. And then of course the manufacturer sends it back to the API, letting us know the status of our order. System integrations, again, ColdFusion's been awesome for us with this. We've connected all our business systems via ODBC, being able to send our invoices and orders through our business systems for financial purposes. And of course, what you guys saw was the custom ColdFusion cart. Thank you. Again, if it wasn't for ColdFusion, we wouldn't be where we're at currently right now with our startup. So thanks again, you guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony. Amazing stuff. Being a software development manager myself, it's just impossible to think that all this can be done with just 2 developers, and definitely ColdFusion has been the power underneath. So great stuff. For the next one, Adobe has been working very closely with SourceMax to support their ColdFusion initiatives. Yay! The next video tells us a story of one of their projects with a large client, Sodexo. Let's hear what they have to say. Please roll the video.
Bonjour et bienvenue chez Active
Hello
IT.
everyone, welcome to Active IT Group. Active is made up of 50 people who are passionate about the web, mobile applications, innovation design. In short, we're crazy about all types of technology. Our origins go back to 1996. We discovered the web with the first technology available on the market. I'm talking about ColdFusion. Promoting ColdFusion and sharing client feedback with you is my job within the SourceMax business unit, and has been for the last 20 years, because it's a Java framework that is greatly appreciated by our clients. Today, I invite you to discover how Sodexo Group uses ColdFusion in France.
Bonjour, je suis Stéphane.
Hello, I'm Stéphane Rebière, Chief Information Officer at Sodexo France.
Sodexo
is a company that was created in 1966 by Pierre Bellon in Marseille, France. As its activities have grown, it has become the world leader in quality of life services. Today, the company has more than 460,000 employees in 72 countries. We are the #1 French private employer in the world. In France, our IT department is made up of 120 internal employees who are responsible for ensuring that the equipment and applications work properly on a day-to-day basis, or for supporting the creation of new services for our consumers in conjunction with operations management. Since the early 2000s, ColdFusion has been one of the technological components at the heart of Sodexo. This framework has proven to be a valuable asset that allows us to accelerate our development cycles while benefiting from a high production reliability with Java.
My job is to manage the life cycle of the food tech applications. These applications allow our 4,000 restaurants to prepare more than 1 million meals per day. We rolled out ColdFusion in multi-servers and multi-instances mode under Java. This high availability architecture offers reliability and ease of monitoring for our web applications.
My role is to create and maintain the digital platform, which is a service hub between the back-end tools and the front-end applications. We use ColdFusion together with Framework 1 to guarantee a high level of quality. We're planning a DevOps approach, and the 2018 version and its Docker images should contribute a lot to helping us reach that objective.
Our 4,000 restaurants need to take inventory every month in order to manage their activities. Our internal clients need to be able to avail themselves of a modern and effective application. We developed that application with ColdFusion. It uses Ionic for its front end for mobile and Vue.js for desktop. The API system was created entirely with ColdFusion and ensures optimized performance under Java.
Adobe gives us the stability of a large publisher and a view of the roadmap for its products. These last few years, we've developed a new generation of applications and tools with ColdFusion, which are used today by more than 20,000 users and 400,000 consumers in France. These projects have also been buoyed by the solid partnership that we maintain with SourceMax, which provides us with the necessary savoir-faire and reactivity. This collaboration will be a major advantage in implementing our 2022 application roadmap.
The SourceMax team is with us here. Bruno, along with your team, can you guys please stand up so that we can applaud you for the phenomenal work that you are doing. Thank you. So now I'm going to talk about what we have in store for ColdFusion. Ever since ColdFusion was invented around 24 years ago, it has worked to solve complex customer problems. And not just that, democratizing the cutting edge technologies so that they can be used by all the developers easily. But the scenario changed, things change. And now is the time to envision what it will take for ColdFusion to thrive for the next decade. To build up to that, let's just take a look at how the web application space has trended for last 20 years or so. Many years ago, when you would think about your web application, you will have to think about the hardware, you will have to think about the machine instances, you will have to think about the application servers, and yeah, if you have some time left, you will think about the application code and actually what application is going to do. It was really very complex. To simplify the things, virtualization came. It did not change the flavor of the web application drastically, but it still gave you some relief from managing the hardware. You could just focus on the machine instances and application server and your application code. 8-9 years ago, when the cloud services started becoming mainstream, they took away the complexity of managing even the machine instances. And that's where we started seeing the major shift. You could just focus on the application servers and your application code. Not just that, the cloud services also brought in services, and you could actually use those services within your application, and hence you don't probably have to code everything, or you don't have to put everything in your application. 3-4 years ago, it got simplified even further. These monolith applications, they got broken down into smaller functional chunks called microservices. And these microservices could be deployed into something called containers. And the overall unit that it gives you is a very small unit, and hence very, very easy to manage. And each of these units can be managed independently. And the really latest phenomenon is the serverless, wherein you don't even think about the application server or anything. You just bring in the code, bring in the functionality that you want to have. You give it to this serverless technology, it executes it, and gives you back the results. So you can see that cloud really has disrupted the overall web application development and deployment. And it was clear to us that to be relevant, ColdFusion has to play in this space. Whenever such shifts happen, like one part coming in, other part going out, it always becomes a ripe field of innovation, and it always gives rise to new leaders. So it's the same image that we saw on the last slide, but it's just mentioning the leaders that were there when that phase was there. So HP, Dell, to now very recent as Amazon, etc. But as I said, like all these shifts always, they could be disruptive, but they are also opportunity. And in ColdFusion, we want to grab that opportunity and make it relevant for cloud. From this diagram, you can clearly see that things have become simpler. Earlier you had to manage so many things just to deploy a web application, but now pretty much that load is taken by someone else, and you could focus on your application. Not just that, it has become far more cheaper cost-wise to have that application. Earlier, you will have to budget for all the hardwares and all the licenses for all the application servers and etc., and then you'll buy the annual support and you'll spend a lot of money. Now on cloud, pretty much it has become like your utility, like electricity, wherein you just pay as you use, and the unit of usage actually for some of the services goes into seconds. So you could pay just for the number of seconds you have used that services. So it's clear to us that cloud wave is here to stay for a long time. And it was also clear by the spending trends of the top CIOs. As you can see in this chart, cloud is the topmost priority when it comes to allocating the budget by these top CEOs. But is this cloud wave happening in CF Universe too? And to find it out, we did a survey last year among CF users. And not so surprisingly, the results were no different. The survey reported good adoption of cloud within the CF users also. More than half of them who took the survey, among them, more than half were already using the cloud in one way or other, while 25% more, which basically makes it 75% of the entire population, claiming that they are working on the cloud right now, and they are going to use it in production by end of next year. 40% of ColdFusion apps are getting developed using microservices architecture, and that also is going to shoot up by next year. Within the cloud vendors, Amazon and Microsoft, AWS and Azure, those were the primary cloud services which are getting used by the ColdFusion developers. By looking at these numbers, it was clear to us that ColdFusion developers are responding to this change and adapting to cloud at a much better rate than we had thought. However, no adaptation happens without its own fair share of challenges. And while responding to the survey, they also reported a number of challenges that they face when they are trying to use ColdFusion on the cloud. The biggest challenge, as you can imagine, that there is no direct integration between ColdFusion and the cloud services. So you pretty much end up writing two applications, and one in ColdFusion, which is probably having your business logic, and other in the cloud, which basically is used to invoke the cloud services and get the stuff done there. We want to move towards simplicity, and managing two applications is definitely no fun. Not just that, to reach to these cloud services, typically the mechanism which is used is a serverless piece. On Amazon, it's called Lambda. So Lambda would be written, and the ColdFusion code will make a call to this Lambda, and Lambda is running in the cloud, and this Lambda calls the appropriate cloud service and return the results back to ColdFusion code. It's an extra hop, and all of you are developers and you would understand what it means to have an extra hop in your call. It definitely will hit your performance numbers. And sadly, again, this Lambda cannot be written in ColdFusion. Again, you have to write it in a different language, because ColdFusion runtime, it really doesn't play very well with the needs of these serverless technologies. Then the deployment and configuration of ColdFusion apps, that is done very differently, and it's not aligned with the way most of the cloud apps are deployed and configured today. And then there are many other extraneous factors like the installation or the licensing per se, which really makes it a big challenge for ColdFusion to be used on the cloud. Despite all these hurdles, it was great to see such a high adoption of cloud among CF users. It motivated us to come up with a vision statement that aims to eliminate all of these pain points. So this is the vision that we are proposing for ColdFusion for next years to come, to be the modernized platform of choice for building cloud-native microservices application with absolute focus on ease of use without getting locked to a particular cloud vendor or multi-cloud. Realizing this vision into ColdFusion will need work at many joints of ColdFusion. Some joints have to become stronger, some joints probably have to be reconfigured, and some new joints have to be added to the entire ColdFusion platform so that it is even more flexible. If I have to give a pictorial representation of the vision, just as I just mentioned, this probably will come out to be like this. And this picture is showing all the joints that will need to be serviced to move closer to this vision. Right from as basic stuff as installation to the most modern thing, serverless. Everything will need to be rethought of, everything will need to be probably changed, and everything will need to be modernized. Given all this, the question for us was how we are going to position this new avatar of ColdFusion, which is both differentiated and compelling for the existing ColdFusion users and the new ColdFusion developers, and continues to build on the strength, and also it should innovate around the cloud offerings. So we believe that this positioning has to be anchored around these three core pillars: productivity, multi-cloud, and security. And I will go through each of these pillars in a little bit of detail now. ColdFusion has always been about doing more with less. When you write code in CFML or CF script, it's practically 1/4 of what you would need to write in Java. With CF script 2.0, we want to make it even better. So CF script 2.0 will be an ECMA 6 compliant syntax, so which not just it will help in code writing in the familiar constructs of other scripting languages, but it will also help the non-CF developers, specifically the JavaScript developers, to start coding in ColdFusion. This will be done in addition to the backward compatibility for existing CF scripts. So don't get afraid, like you don't have to change your code when the new version of ColdFusion comes up. Your existing code will continue to work, but you will have this new way of writing CF script code as well. To align better with the cloud philosophy of deploying the application, the integration with CI/CD pipeline will be given, and it will be a huge time saver because then you will be configuring and managing the ColdFusion servers the usual way you are going to do for rest of your cloud services. In general, setting up the ColdFusion server, it's a little bit time-consuming activity because at times you have to manually copy-paste some of the configuration files across all the CF nodes in your cluster. We will be bringing in the CLI, command line interface, for ColdFusion, which will make the entire setup experience as a scriptable experience. And again, this will also add to the point what I talked about, the CI/CD pipeline, or along with the DevOps process. We are also envisioning a central configuration server, one single point of configuration server, which you can use to manage all the apps and all the CF nodes in your cluster. ColdFusion runtime is a monolith. It's around a gigabyte in size, and given the newer set of technologies like containers and serverless, that's a strict no-no. So ColdFusion runtime also has to change. It has to take a shape of something like package manager, which basically just scan the code at runtime, scan the code and figure out the right runtime for your application. For example, if you are writing a microservice which just gives out a PDF file, probably the runtime should be just the core runtime and the runtime that needs for PDF to be generated. And from probably a gigabyte, it should come down to probably less than 100 megabyte or around that. That definitely will be a huge thing when you want to develop microservices or serverless stuff with ColdFusion. Multi-cloud. So what is multi-cloud? So multi-cloud is when you are using more than one public cloud for your applications. So since these are still early days, most of the time the applications are developed which is really tuned towards one specific cloud, either Amazon or Azure or Google. It is predicted that by 2022, 80% of the web apps on cloud will be hosted by the top 4 cloud vendors, just 4. It becomes a huge risk for the CIOs because they wouldn't want to get logged into a specific vendor. And at that time, they would start thinking about the multi-cloud strategies as to how they can have their systems which can work across the clouds and they are not really tied up to a single cloud vendor. In the beginning, they may use some open source software or maybe specific coding strategy to overcome this. But as the things really scale out, as more and more apps move to the cloud, by 2024, more than 90% of the CIOs would start looking at the platforms or tools which provide the multi-cloud capability out of the box. That's where we think that the sweet spot for ColdFusion is that ColdFusion can focus on the application development story of multi-cloud. So imagine that you could have a single code base and for your application, and today you are running it on Amazon, and tomorrow if the need be, you can run it on Azure. Or maybe you are still running the application in-house, but you want to use some specific services from Amazon because maybe either they are better there or they are cheaper there. to using some services from the Azure or some services from Google. Imagine that you would be able to do it using a single code base. How this will be done? We are giving the common API interface across the most common services on these clouds. So if your web application is just using storage, databases, maybe both SQL, NoSQL, caching, messaging, all these basic services which usually used to build your web application, then there would be a set of APIs which will work across all the clouds, all the supported clouds. And to begin with, we are aiming to support AWS and Azure, and probably we'll add more cloud vendors as we go along. By understanding the cloud more, we can even aim to go deeper beyond what is just commonly available across both the clouds. We may be, because we are sitting at the middle layer, we may be able to bring in more optimizations as how you are going to use the cloud services. Common tools like performance management toolkit, like API manager, they will also be upgraded to work seamlessly across these clouds. So you would be able to manage your applications using PMT from the cloud as well. It will fetch all the stats, not just for your application, but for the cloud services that you're using in those clouds, and will show you in a single dashboard. ColdFusion is the most secure platform out there, but security is one area where you cannot do enough. When we take ColdFusion to the cloud, we aim to make ColdFusion as the most secure platform on the cloud as well. With the built-in tools like auto lockdown, the security code analyzer, I'm sure that we are going to outperform on this pillar. In the productivity bucket, I also spoke about centralized administration that actually stretches to the security side as well, because having a centralized administration bring in the procedural security in your deployments, because you can control the access to that centralized configuration server at one place. At application level, functional level security, SSO will be given as a standard feature out of the box. Let's also take a look at competition, because just when we are thinking about our vision and when we are thinking about its positioning, we also have to look at what competition does or how competition performs on these pillars. So in terms of lines of code, CF is already way ahead than most of the competing technologies. Node gives a bit of competition, but we aim to make it better with the new innovations that we want to put in our language. Except ColdFusion, all the other technologies will need you to rewrite your app if you want to move to the other cloud, or they would basically need you to write a very specific piece of code if you want to use the services across the cloud. And you can clearly see that ColdFusion has the least number of security issues reported against it, and that data is taken over a period of 5 years, which is not a small time period. So that's what I meant by then how we have to continue to build on our strengths, and we still have to innovate. So we are building on our strengths of security and productivity, and while we are trying to innovate around multi-cloud. So let me bring back the vision outline once again, because at that time I did not spend enough time on this, and because I wanted to explain this vision by the pillars. So now you can clearly see we spoke about installation, basically breaking down ColdFusion installer into a package manager type of structure, which essentially install the runtime but only for the required part. We talked about CI/CD pipeline for DevOps. Again, the smaller runtime helping ColdFusion to fit into a container. Integration with cloud, native integration or CF, the APIs for cloud services. Security. PMT being upgraded to support the cloud analytics centralized configuration server, and finally, again, because of the reduced runtime size, the serverless. So you can see that those three pillars are all covering this vision properly. I totally understand that I have really covered all these things at a very high level. So if you want to know the progress that the team is making, the CF engineering team is making, make sure that you join Rakshit's session. Rakshit is actually going to demonstrate the really bleeding edge build. Also for the users who may not be using cloud and who may be thinking that, hey, I may still go with whatever I have. Don't get disappointed. There's still a lot of stuff here. If you relook at it, except container and serverless, all the other stuff is applicable for the non-cloud application as well. And if I take the analogy from the productivity, from the pillars, except the multi-cloud, both productivity and security is applicable to what you are doing today as well. No vision is complete if it doesn't think about the other side of it, about the people, about the developers working on ColdFusion. And that's what I would like to leave you guys with. I think that this vision has a huge upside for the ColdFusion developers. According to a survey from Opsram, 94% of IT decision makers find it really difficult to get talent on cloud native applications or multi-cloud development. 94%. This is not a skill gap. Actually, this is a skill crisis. With this vision, all of us can upskill ourselves to become the cloud native developer and can compete for this talent pie. With that, I'll end my talk. Thanks and have a great summit ahead.